Good morning, seventh graders. You should be hearing a little bit of a thunderstorm going on in the background. There's a reason for that. Today we're going to be talking and learning about mood. So, during your reading time today, focus in. What's the feeling you get when reading your story? What's the weather doing? What are the animals doing? What's happening in the setting? So, during reading time, teachers, if you'd like to continue the thunderstorm sounds, feel free to click on this and enjoy 10 minutes of reading time. And we'll be back to learn more about mood. See you in 10 minutes. Welcome back, students. I hope you enjoyed your 10 minutes of reading and that you figured out the mood that was going on in your story. Today, it's all about that. It's about mood. So let's just kind of get our brains thinking a little bit as we talk about mood. So we're going to do a quick that's me. Every time that after I read the statement, if this is true for you, just simply give a quick that's me out loud in your classroom. Here we go. The first one. Went trick-or-treating this year. If that's true for you, say that's me. Number 2, watched a paranormal show like Ghost Hunters. That's me. Number 3, watched a scary movie. That's me. Number 4, played a deadly video game. That's not me. Number 5, if you have ever been freaked out while babysitting or home alone. That's me. If any of these are true for you, you've probably experienced mood and more than likely a fearful mood. Today, we're going to play around with mood and it's going to do a lot with setting a fearful mood. All right, I'm going to ask you right now to go ahead and go into Google Classroom. When you get into Google Classroom, please go underneath classwork and you're going to see where it says mood, stories, and writing. You're going to be opening up this mood writing right here. So go ahead and get that opened. I'll see you in a minute. All right, let's just do a quick starting off of what do you know about mood. So real quick, come up with a quick definition of mood. Just write it in there. You can talk it over as your crew, you can talk it over with another person, or you can just come up with your own answer. When you think about mood in a story, what is it? And put your response right there. All right, you probably came up with something similar to this. Mood is the feeling that a reader gets from the story. It can be designed. All right, so basically, mood is the feeling that a reader gets from the story. So now take a look at the second question here. Why is it important that we have mood when we're reading a story? Why do we need to know the mood or the feeling? And a lot of times that mood is set up using the setting, using the weather. So real quick, come up with a reason was why is it important to have a mood in a story? What would be the big deal if we didn't have a mood in the story? What does it do for the story? You probably came up with a variety of different responses, and you might want to add a little something to your notes. Take a look right here of why mood is important. So, mood is important because it creates this feeling or this atmosphere. It also sets the stage up for those future actions or events. It can be used as foreshadowing or suspense. Think of things like Jaws when you hear the da-dun, da-dun. That's that suspense of what's to come. That music is what they're using to help with the mood. It does convey an idea about the characters and the setting. If it's storming and it's dark, you're going to have a more fearful, mysterious type of a mood. So when you were hearing those thunderstorms going on, it can change the mood versus just having the sunshine or having peaceful music. It helps to entice a reader. It helps to heighten that experience. So if you're playing a video game, if you're watching a movie, all of those sounds, all of the sights, all of the camera tricks, all of those things help to set the mood for the reader. So we're going to do a little practice here. Take a look at your work in front of you. It says elements of mood I notice in clip 1 and clip 2. I'm going to play 2 different clips for you. And while you're viewing these clips, just watch the clip. When the clip is done, then you're going to jot down some things that they did to help set a mood. Now I'm going to tell you that the mood here is a fearful mood. So what did they do to help make or create a fearful mood? All right, so let's watch the first clip. When we're done watching the first clip, then just jot down a few responses. Teachers, sometimes it's fun to turn off the lights to help create that fearful mood in the classroom while they watch these clips. Feel free to do so if you'd like to. All right, so we're going to watch part of this clip. We won't watch the whole thing. And just after we're done, then open up your computer and jot things down. So right now, just 3/4 that computer screen. And let's see, what did they do to help set a fearful mood? Okay?
Hello? Is anyone there? I could have at least driven myself, Dad.
I don't want you driving home alone this far so late at night. Wow.
You must be Jill. We were so thrilled to find a babysitter at the last minute. Come on, I'll show you around.
Your house is amazing.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Where are the children?
First bedroom at the top of the landing.
Just make yourself at home.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
Ooh, I know. I just stopped it right there. So take a second now, open up. What are some elements of mood that you noticed in that clip? What did they do to help set a fearful mood or in this clip? All right, so I'll give you a second to just jot down some things. Some things that I noticed right away was the fact that she was far from home and surrounded by water and the woods. I also noticed that it took place at night. Give me some other things that help to set a fearful mood or tone. All right, I'll give you just a couple minutes. All right, here's some things you might have. You may have more than this. So the fact that the ringing of the phone, so just the sounds of ring, ring, or even at the beginning when you hear that music, it's like a really deep bass sound as her dad's driving her there. The creepy tone of the voice on the other end of the receiver. Those little jump scares at the beginning. The fact that it's a big house, which means that there's lots of different hiding places, and that's really very scary when you look at it. So these are all the things that they do to help set a mood of fear. So you're just noticing that water was just crystal, just like glass on the top. And as she's looking out, she's very isolated. Her dad drove her there. She doesn't have her own car. So all those things that you look at. All right, let's take a look at clip 2. And again, I want you to notice what do they do to help create a fearful mood? What are those elements? Chromebooks back up and record down some elements of mood right here. So just take a couple minutes and record those down. All right, some things you might have. It could include static, breathing, those noises, the crunch, 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 the cemetery being at night, how it's black and white and gray, and every now and then you might get a pop of red. You've got those flashing lights, those signs, and even the noise of the signs being grabbed down, the woods, the limited vision, or how about even the sounds of children, but yet there aren't any children on that like abandoned playground. So all of those things help to create a fearful mood in you, and it has to do with what the animals are doing. You don't even see any animals. It has to do with what the shadows are doing, what time of day it is, what's going on with the weather. So all those things help to create a mood. Let's take a look at some mentor examples that we've already seen. So I'm going to read to you right here with the mentor examples. I'm going to read to you some different stories that we've been into, and I just want you to jot down some things, some elements that the author uses to help create a mood. All right, so let's start off and let's look at this very first one. So you can just put one and then we'll go over the first one. Okay, I'm going to read at the beginning of The Highwayman and tell me, what do they do to help create a mood? The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon the cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor. And the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. So record down just a couple things that they did to help, that the author did here to help set the mood. All right, you might have included some of these things. The fact that it's at night, it's a little bit windy, it's a little partly cloudy, the moon's kind of peeking in and out of those clouds. We've got the color purple. All of those are helping to create a mood, and also the location being in the moors. So all of those things help to create the mood. Let's try another one. Okay, let's listen to this next story. This next story is coming from After 20 Years. So what does the author do here? What elements does this author, O. Henry, does he use to set the mood? The policeman on the beat moved up the avenue impressively. The impressiveness was habitual and not for show, for spectators were few. The time was barely 10 o'clock at night, but chilly gusts of wind with a taste of rain in them had well nigh depeopled the streets. Go ahead and write down a couple elements that O. Henry used. Okay, you might have included some of these details, that it's nighttime, it's chilly, it's windy, there's a little bit of rain, and there's really no one around. So all of those things help to set the mood. Let's take a look at one more. Okay, this third example comes from Amigo Brothers, and this is going to be a little bit different of a tone. It's not going, or a mood. It's not going to be a mysterious, fearful. It's going to be more of an enthusiastic, excited mood that's going on. So listen up and just put down a few things that the writer does to create that mood. Bong, bong, bong. The roar turned to stillness. Ladies and gentlemen, senors y senoras. The announcer spoke slowly, pleased at his bilingual efforts. Now the moment we have all been waiting for, the main event between two fine young Puerto Rican fighters, products of our Lower East Side. In this corner, weighing 134 pounds, Felix Vargas. And in this corner, weighing 133 pounds, Antonio Cruz. The winner will represent the Boys Club in the Tournament of Champions, the Golden Gloves. There will be no draw. May the best man win. The cheering of the crowd shook the window panes of the old buildings surrounding Tompkins Square Park. All right, jot down a couple things that the author did to create a mood of excitement. So some of the things you might have included is the onomatopoeia, bong, 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 the sound words. And as soon as that bell rang, it just went completely still and silent. And so it was like, And then the announcer comes on and everybody gets so excited. The window panes are shaking, the glass is shaking in the window panes. So all of those things help to set that mood of excitement. All right, now that you've had an example to see, now it's time to talk about writing your own mood. You'll notice that the mood writings aren't huge, but they definitely are powerful. Let's get you started. What I want you to notice is that a lot of writers start their stories off with a mood. So they have that opening paragraph that really sets the mood. They talk about the weather, the colors, the sounds, the animals, the shadows, all of those things set the mood. And a lot of times that happens in that very first paragraph. So that's a writer's secret. And that mood, again, is that atmosphere of feeling. It establishes the setting and it paints that picture with words. With mood, the reader's led to a place and discovers how it feels to be there. So if you're reading a story where they go to like the beach, you're going to have that peaceful mood, unless it's a hurricane happening. Then you're going to have that fearful, intense mood. All right, let's keep going. Here's an example from a student writer. This is their mood piece, and this is what you're going to be striving to write is a mood piece. Silence. Nothing could be heard on that windy October morning. Nothing could fix what happened on that horrible morning. The eerie silence could make anyone standing in the forbidden forest uncomfortable. The wind howled as the freezing rain began to fall. The crows flew away, knowing what was going to happen that morning that would turn our world upside down, that morning that our nightmares would become a reality. So they wrote a fearful mood, and you could see exactly what it sounded like, what it felt like, where they were located, words like forbidden and freezing, describing the rain. We knew what the animals were doing. So all of those things helped. And then there's some repetition down here going in as well. Your job will be to create your own mood. And you get to decide, do you want to create a fearful mood? Do you want to create a peaceful mood? What kind of mood do you want to create? And then you'll be writing a mood just like this. So first decide, what kind of mood do you want to write? Once you've decided that, go ahead and open or scroll down, I should say, to this chart, creating mood. This is the only thing you're going to work on now, is just creating a mood. So you're going to be filling in this chart. All right, so go ahead and get that opened. Now that you've decided what kind of mood you want to write, I want you to come up with a bunch of words that you'll be able to use in your mood writing piece. Tomorrow, you're going to write your mood writing piece. Today, you're just going to brainstorm it up and put in as many words as you can into all of these boxes. Some of them will work for you, some of them will not. But first off, good writers, when they create a mood, they use the weather. If you're doing a fearful mood, is the weather, is it windy? Is it chilly? Is it gloomy? If you're doing a peaceful mood, is it sun-kissed? Is it calming? Is it warm? Use color. Color really helps to set a mood. If it's a fearful mood, you might be using words like gray and charcoal and ashen and red. But if it's a peaceful mood, you might be using yellows and purples and pinks. What are the trees and the wind and the shadows? What are they doing? So you'll want to add in some words here. Are the animals all shivering and cowering? Or are all the animals coming out to greet you? Are the trees bending and snapping in the wind? Go down to the onomatopoeia. Put in some sound words. Like we had the bong, bong, bong from Amigo Brothers, but we also had the crunch, crunch, crunch in Slender Man. So some sound words. Finally, the senses. Help your reader hear and feel and see and taste and smell what is going on in your piece. So set that up for us. Is it a damp, musty smell in the forest? Or do we hear peaceful rustling and a sweet smell? Add in some inner thoughts. Could it be that the wild wind was trying to warn me? Put in some actions of the animals and the people, and maybe even you. Are you shivering? Are the animals huddling? Are the shadows following? So all of those things. Now, a powerful one is personification with mood. So what you need to do here, what can you give human characteristics to? So is it the forest? Is the forest calling to you? Is it the fog? Is the fog warning you? Are the animals seeming to whisper to you? Is the wind speaking? So all of those things would help to create a mood. So first, what mood are you creating? And go ahead and fill in your chart for that mood. Tomorrow, we'll be actually writing your mood paragraph. All right, have fun with this. If you need some additional words to help you, remember to go into Google Classroom, scroll down where it says resources, and you have word choice help sheets. These word choice help sheets are great. Here's some adjectives for sensory detail. If you're looking for great fireball words because you want fireballs, you can find words under here for smell, taste, touch, sound. All of those are there. If you're looking for some great action words, go right here. And additionally, there are more character traits that you could give to all of those objects in your writing. So these word choice help sheets will also be a great resource as you fill in your chart today. All right, remember that you are simply working on this chart. I am going to put this chart right here. Teachers, you might want to leave this up while students are working. Students, fill in your chart, and we'll see you back tomorrow.